welcome to Season 2, Episode 6.5 of a sports podcast with Ricky and Ian. And today, our first ever, I believe it is our first ever two-time guest. I think it's everyone's favorite guest. We have Frank Nunez here today.
Yo, what's up? Back again. Everyone's favorite guest. You said it, not me. I'm saying. Thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure to get on here.
Were you? Yeah, was that planned?
It sounded like the beginning of the country song "Drinking Beer, Talking God, Amen." That's what it sounds like.
I'm contractually obligated to do that for my sponsors before I do interviews.
All right then.
That was definitely planned.
At least that was out of the way. What I think. Let's kind of recap the week real quick. Boston Red Sox suck, and Mac Jones is a god. And Frank Nunez, you came here today, I think, to talk about your creation.
Flattering words. So you guys,
Brainchild.
y'all participated this year in the first season of the Aroostook Men's Baseball League, and I know, loyal listeners, so I've heard you guys talking about it before, and we kind of talked about it in the end of last season, that maybe I'd get back on and talk a little bit about it. So, yeah, this week is, I think now that it's fully wrapped up for the year, Sunday was the last official day for this season. I think it's a good time to come on and talk a little bit about it.
Of course.
Right.
So where shall we begin?
Well, we just came off a really busy week, as you guys know. I think the last episode you guys were talking to Will. We were going into the first game of the championship series between mine and Ricky's team, the Mavericks, and Ian and William's team, the Pinecones. Ian, you want to walk us through game 1 on Tuesday?
Game 1.
I can handle game 2.
All right, I got game 3.
Okay.
Game 1. Saul Nunez 2-run shot. Saul Nunez 7 innings 2-run ball, and the Pinecones walk away with a 4-2 win.
All you want to say?
That's really all there is to say about that game, I think, right? Nothing too
I mean,
interesting happened.
It doesn't get much better for you guys after that one.
He's right. So, I mean, if you want to take up the moment to say anything positive for your squad, go ahead.
Hey, it was just, we just played a good game.
You guys hit well, I would say.
We beat the Mavericks game 1. I mean, Saul Nunez did what he does on the mound. Always put you in a good spot to win a game, especially when he's helping out with the bat as well.
He's good at stopping rallies, and I know we let a lot of guys on base in that game, and you guys didn't. So
right,
you guys capitalized when you had the opportunities. We got opportunities, and we did not capitalize. Kind of just nailed down the coffin whenever it got serious, and prevented us from sneaking into game 1.
Yeah, that's pretty adamant. And so game 2, we're staring down the barrel. Backs against the wall, elimination game. Not our ideal squad either. For example, we had, Frank playing shortstop, Gabe who had only played a couple games that year at that position. Gabe playing second base, same story there. But got on the board early, played from ahead. Zeus hit a big ground rule double, go up 2-0. I legged out an infield single in, I don't know what inning, third inning, I think. Then scored from first on a little bloop shot by Frank. Or was it by Frank? Yes, it was by Frank. And then scored from home on a errant throw or whatever to go up 3-0, and we ended up winning the game 6-0 after Saul came out. But I think, Frank, I don't want to speak for you or for you too, but I think that was the best game we played as a team all year, game 2. Including game 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we played better game 2 than we played game 3. To be honest, I think you're probably right. That was probably our best game this season. Was game 2.
I think so too. Even with key guys missing, we were just hanging on every pitch.
Yeah, one thing I'll say about game 2, that's the biggest like score discrepancy. But to be honest, that was like I felt that was the closest game out of all three of them. Like going because they came up with the top of their order in the bottom of the 6th, and we had 3-run lead at that point. Yeah, we had a 3-run lead at that point, but with Saul and Billy coming up with a 3-4 punch, man, like, dude, any pitch could have tied that game up.
Yeah, but Zeus pitched a gem of a game, a whale of a game, and that inning was no exception. He pitched to those guys and got them out. Huge turning point. I mean, huge point in that series right there. That could, I mean, a base hit makes it a 2-run game. You know, Saul comes out to finish the 7th. If that was the case, it makes it a 1-run, 2-run game. You know, Saul would come out in the 7th, and they wouldn't put Chance out there, and it would have been a 1-run game or a tie game, whatever, going into the last inning.
I know we've said it. You guys talked about it a little bit. I've said it last time I was on, but I mean, to be honest, like the amount that Saul pitched this postseason was like, dude, we threw a complete game in the first series. Came in relief for, I believe, 2 or 3 innings. 2. In the first
2.
2, yeah, I think 2.
And he
6-7.
threw a complete game 1, and threw 6 innings of game 2.
Pitched 22 innings. He pitched 22 innings in the whole postseason in 5 games for your team.
That's a lot.
I mean,
it's a lot. It's almost too, like, 5 innings a game, right?
He put you guys in a position to win every time. Like, I thought we were gonna have a better chance game 2. I thought we were gonna put up more runs than we did, but Saul did Saul things and, you know, did not let that game get out of hand.
And the fact that we were playing from ahead, if we hadn't jumped on him, I think in the first inning, again, different story.
That was clutch. I mean, to be honest, that I'll say this about game 2. It started because how'd you get on right away? You got on right away.
I walked. You don't see Saul doesn't walk the leadoff batter. He doesn't walk anybody.
That might have been his only walk in.
I think it was his only. I think so.
You walk. Jesus hit that ground rule double, and Jesus is like a totally mental player too. Like, like when that got down, like that determined how his pitching night was gonna go.
It's true.
And then then I got up there, drove you in.
I think you drove both of us in.
A big lineup change actually. It was Zach switching
to 4.
Jesus Zach went down to 4, put me at 3 instead of 2. That was huge. To be honest, I mean, just that lead right there, like that gave us all the momentum. Like, we were in the driver's seat from that point on, and we played, like you said, we had some guys not playing in their typical roles, but dude, that game was crazy. To be honest, this whole series was like awesome. Like, it was just an awesome series.
It was good baseball. It really was.
And if I can say something about game 2, I think Gabe probably had one of the biggest plays, just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
With runners on 2nd and 3rd, I hit a rope right at him, and if he wasn't there, that was going to roll to the wall.
Oh yeah.
And that would have got both runs in and tied the game, which could have completely changed the game.
Strike him out, throw him out when he when Nate connected with him, like to stop the inning to get the that was huge too. Like Gabe, and I think late in the game he caught a fly ball.
A fly ball near the fence.
He had a huge day defensively for us.
I'm telling you, Gabe, he doesn't do the little things right. We all know that. But man, his glove he's actually got hands. Like, dude, seriously.
He was huge. Like, we don't win that game without his plays.
No, we don't. I mean,
awesome.
you look at the final score 6-0, but you really think that was tight all the way through until the last inning.
It was, very close game.
Yeah, game 2 was a memorable game. I think it probably had the biggest crowd of the series we'd have. Huh? Wouldn't you say, game 2?
I think game 2 did have the biggest drawing.
It had a little bit bigger than game 1. And then game 3 was less because it was a noon start, but...
Yeah, but enough people came out for game 3 too. Well, I guess
there was a good amount. It was still a good atmosphere. I mean, it was good crowds all 3 games, but game 2, I feel like, just had a different atmosphere about it.
Yeah, that was our biggest drawing, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so going ahead of that into game 3 then. Series tied 1-1. We did have Ben Goodwin there to throw for us.
Huge that he
huge.
hadn't thrown either game before too.
Right.
So he was fresh.
All definitely was beaten down, but Dakota came. I believe he was downstate for game 2. He was back. He was fresh. And honestly, he threw a good game for the Pinecones as well. We had a rocky start. They're playing from behind that game, but I know I personally, and I think the rest of our team, we felt like we had all the momentum to win game 3. Like after the big win in game 2.
Oh yeah.
And it came right down to the bottom of the 7th, man. I mean,
I'll say before you go ahead and say what happened in the 7th. I'll say prior to game 2, when I'll be honest, when I heard that we wouldn't have Morrison or Goodwin for a good chunk of the game, I was like, well, I know my confidence was completely, shattered after that. But then I started thinking, I was like, don't let us win tonight. Same Kevin Millar's speech. Do not let us win tonight. Put us to bed tonight. Because if we somehow are able to squeak out a win, and if Zeus pitches the game of his life, which he did, and if we get to Saul early and play from ahead like we did, then all of a sudden, boom, we got Goodwin on the mound game 3, and it's tied the series. But obviously, from the start, we didn't play with the same confidence in game 3 that we did in game 2. But I was just saying, if the Pinecones wanted to win the series, obviously that was the day to do it. Was game 2. And
yeah, me and Liam Streeter got there early that day, and I mean we were talking about it, a good hour and a half before the game time, and we said, I was like pretty much the same thing we were saying. We said, if we win today, game 3, it's ours. It's ours to lose at that point.
Yes,
like
it's ours to lose. That's the correct phrasing, I would say.
And that's exactly what it felt like too. I mean, game 2 was like they had a chance to close it there, game 2, but like you said, like if they gave us the chance, game 3 was ours. That's just how it felt to us, at least.
That's how it felt until game 3 got going.
At game 3, yeah,
and then we're just playing
start.
Totally flat-footed, and I was just stoic in center field. I wasn't saying a word, and I was just like, "Wow, this sucks."
I was gonna say, I think it was about the 4th inning, and yeah, I was like looking around the field, and everybody was just dead, and like the Pinecones, which is a team that's not very loud, they were louder than us. Like,
yeah, that's not good.
I was like sitting there, and I was just like, guys, I was like, this game's not over. Like, we need to make some noise here. We got to get back in this game.
I think in that trouble inning, in the 2nd inning, when they scored 2 runs off errors, an important thing was when Goodwin called the infield over. I wasn't in the conversation, but I think it was good that he did that because it's like stop the bleeding. And they could have definitely scored more than 2 runs in that inning. It could have gotten the wheels could have fallen off. I mean, really early when
they had opportunities. Almost, it seemed like every inning, but after that point, after the 2nd, we really did a good job holding it.
Sal hit a homer in the 3rd to go up 3-0, but after that, I think Goodwin had settled in at that point and was pitching with more confidence.
And the defense behind him was playing with more confidence at that point too.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. But
I forget when did we get our first run?
I think it was on your hit by pitch. We loaded the bases. I forget what inning. I think it was the 5th inning.
It might be the 5th. I believe that's correct.
Yeah, but like that was the story of the day. We could have scored way more than just that one, and they kept getting out of jams because Dakota bared down and pitched outs. And the defense just for the Pinecones was just phenomenal, making every play.
And yeah, we were not catching any breaks until the 7th inning. Then at the bottom of the 7th, it all went our way at that point.
And floodgates opened, yeah. So 7th inning, Frank, take us through it.
The 7th inning, man. So Nate will let off for us, and I believe hit it up the middle. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah, he gets a base hit up the middle.
No doubter base hit.
Yeah, and he's the 9th guy in our lineup. So Ricky, you're coming up there. Guy on first, nobody out.
Can I tell my perspective and then you take over after? So Nate hits a hit and it sounded like, I mean, the sound on the bat was just so hard. It was almost the same sound as what you hear when someone hits a home run. It was just so hard hit. And I just immediately let out a fist pump. I was like, okay, we're in it. Because if that first guy doesn't get on, we're probably not in it. Like, even with 1 out in the top of the order, my mentality would have been completely changed if Nate doesn't get on. He gets on. I get in the box. Bunting was not even on my mind. It wasn't even, and then as soon as Dakota got into his stretch and came set, I was like, maybe I can bunt it. And as soon as the pitch came, it was a perfect pitch to bunt on, and I put it down the third base line. I didn't know how close to the line it was. I don't even know who made the play, if it was Kyle or Dakota. I got thrown out, but at least I moved Nate over. So I was fine with it. Frank, go ahead.
I think we got to backtrack just a touch here. So, like, when Dakota was out there warming up and Nate was out there getting swings, me, you, and Zach were talking about when Zach came up to bat.
Oh, right.
You were telling him.
Of course.
You were telling him, you're like, man, you have to swing for a home run here.
I had told him the inning before, too, I think. Or I told him as soon as we had run it. Yeah, I was like, Zach, swing out of your shoes on the first pitch. Because we had been telling everybody, the whole lineup, you'd see Morrison fell for it a bunch of times. You're like, just stay back on the pitch, and hit line drives. And we were still grounding out and popping up. So I was like, might as well tell Zach to, if we have a runner on, swing for it.
Yeah, you're out there telling him that. You go out there on deck then when the inning starts. Yeah, I'm just like sitting there. And I'm like, dude. I'm like, Zach. I'm like, we need base runners, man. I was like, you gotta. You gotta just get us a base hit here.
You were the angel on his shoulder, and I was the devil.
And then you bunt and move him over, and Zach kind of like looks back at me, and I was like, look at you coming through, and I was just like, just kind of like nod at him, and he's like, yeah, dude, he just goes up there, and let's just say he took the strategy of swinging out of his shoes at that first strike. I think he took a ball before it was a second pitch. I believe.
Yeah, it was 1-0 pitch.
Absolutely, yeah, just teed up.
Yeah,
and
it was a line drive.
I was like,
kept going.
You definitely knew it had a chance, but Billy, the route he took and like where he got to,
yeah,
you didn't know until it landed.
You didn't know. No, we were like, yes. Oh no, because Billy's tracking it, and it has the same exact look as when Liam got robbed on Thursday night in the 6-0 game. When Billy robbed.
We're all on like the edge of our seat there, like no good feeling until it got down, and then it was like, and it was crazy, like
it's pandemonium. I was sitting on. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can give your perspective because I'm the one who's batting after Zach, so I have like a different perspective.
Yes, you do. So my perspective was I just bunted. I sacrificed an out to get a run in scoring position. Maybe we can get that run in on a base hit, and we're down just one run. But then Zach hits a home run, and immediately I'm thinking about what I told him to swing out of his shoes, and that it actually worked. Like he actually hit a solid left fly ball out of it, and I'm sitting all the way on the end of the dugout where I usually sit. And near the trash cans. Actually, I'm standing at this point, bending over to see under the bar, and I see that it's out, and I immediately sprint out to the field. I was the first one out there. I shouldn't have been the first one out there. I don't know why anyone else didn't run out. I mean, it was a game-tying home run, and my dad got an iconic image. Anyway, that's footnote. And Nate, I forget Nate is even on the bases, and I look up and Nate's rounding third, and I was like, oh yeah, Nate, that's right, it's a tie game. And I was like, don't touch him. And then obviously, as soon as he touches the plate, we go crazy. But you can see in the pictures, Frank is completely stone-faced.
Yeah, I was about to hop. I was going to talk about that. I was going to say that the photo that your dad has, I don't think he has it. There was at one point when Zach was like at second that I was just like pointed to him. But, I mean, like, obviously that was like huge. Like, that just tied the game. But like immediately,
it's not over.
I don't have time to celebrate here. It's a 3-3 game. We got one out. I'm coming up to bat. Like I can't be in my head here. I was like, and like that image like that your dad got was like perfect because it's like the celebrating with Zach at home, but then there's like just an opening where you can see me in the background. Yeah, dude, I'm just no emotion, just staring out there.
Yeah, it's still business. Like you don't crack a smile until it's over. You didn't definitely that day crack a smile until it was over.
Yeah, so I think it was the first pitch after the home run. Dakota throws one in there, and I went. I mean, it wasn't a solid piece. It was just a base hit, like a floater over the second baseman, no play on it. Yeah, right field can't get there.
All of a sudden, the hits are dropping for us.
Absolutely. I just run to first, and I instantly touch first, call for time. I'm feeling abused today. Like, no, my legs are gone. And I'm just calling for a pinch runner right there. Like I was like, we gotta get somebody else with a little bit of speed on the base path.
For a second, I was like, I know you knew the rule that you had to come out for good, and I was like, wait, so Frank's taking himself out of the game for good, and then Streeter goes, no, he doesn't have to, and because they did it in the Cardinals game, and I was like, no, he does have to because we as a board talked about it and said if that happens again, they have to come out permanently, which is fine because that's how they do it in the major leagues. You got to use your subs, and we had plenty of subs to deal with that, but. And then you got back and I was like, are you sure? And you're like, dude, I got no legs. So Keenan gets out there and Zach and I are trying to put our heads together on what the heck we're going to do if we don't win here, like who's going to go where. But go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, you guys were saying that. You guys came over. Zach was like asking me, and you're like right on the other side of Zach about like what we're doing defensively in the 8th. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not going to the 8th. I'm like, we're winning right here. I was like, it's over.
Goodwin immediately sits down and puts his turfs on, but Goodwin's coming up soon, so I don't know what he was doing that for. He's putting his turf his turf cleats on. He's like, "Oh, the game's tied. I'm gonna be pitching again." But I was like, "Well, I guess we can maybe string a few more hits together." But I wasn't entirely confident.
I gave no consideration to going out for an 8th inning. Like I hadn't even thought of the process of me not being able to play if we continued. Like that didn't until you guys were saying that hadn't crossed my mind, and then I just shut it down and said, we're winning here.
Yeah.
And it was
a good thing we did.
They got a second out. They got a second out, but
wait, so Keenan came on. What was the next thing that happened? Who was up? Was Morrison? Morrison hit a base hit. So first and second, fly ball to left center.
Yep. Christian's tracking it. He says he just completely loses it. Looks to Mike, but I mean he's like camped underneath it. Because he was running and then he looked to see where Mike Langley was.
Yep.
And then he looks back up and he says he just doesn't see it at all. But I was talking to Chris about this after. He says he's like, I knew I was like really close to it, and he's like, so I just was like standing there like waiting. At this point, Keenan, who was running for me, goes back to second, tags up. Like you have to on that one.
Yeah,
I mean
you have to. Yeah.
And it falls in. Christian picks it up, easily gets the throw. It's not that deep into left field.
Right. It's easy force out.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing you can do there.
It's our fast runner off the bases, so it's honestly, in a roundabout way, it's better than catching it because it gets the fast guy off the bases. So now you got Morrison on second.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, Jesus comes up. I don't remember much. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure you
right. Or was it Goodwin that hit the fly? No, Goodwin hit the fly ball. Right.
Goodwin hit the fly ball.
Yeah, so Zeus is up.
And then, yeah, I mean, at this point, Zach's like seriously talking about like what you guys are what our team's gonna do defensively in the 8th because we have 2 outs now. I honestly, I don't even know. Like I just heard the bat hit the ball. Jesus put it on it. I saw it get down. I saw Morrison coming around third, and at that point, I was just like, dude, I was like, we won. I was like, it's over. Like, just happy, just emotions of joy.
It was just, it all happened so fast. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Ian, but I'm sure it felt like 2 seconds. It went from a 2-run lead to losing like that.
Yeah, it all happened quick.
Yeah, and really it was that one portion of the game when we were playing with confidence that ended up being the difference. I mean, 6 innings prior, completely different story, but that ending, it was just the breaks were going our way, I guess, and we had guys hit some solid hits and. We were rewarded for it in the last inning.
It felt so good. It was awesome. It was all right. It's been a few years since I've been part of a championship team, but celebrated again with this group of guys too. I mean, like I didn't know most of our team going in. I knew you and Zach and a couple other guys.
Me neither.
But I mean, I've never played like an actual season with you guys before. Like we played a few pickup games like last summer together, but it was it was awesome being able to play with like this group of guys, man. It was a lot of fun.
Exactly. And it was kind of bittersweet because obviously we're beating our friends and your brothers, and we wish we could have been together, but I don't know. It was just I'm glad that it was the championship series between the two of us. I'm glad that we were definitely the best 2 teams in the league all year. And it came down to it, and it came down to a great series. I don't think the next year or the year after that the championship series will be this good. But it would be hard.
I think it would be hard to compete. Like this, all 3 of these games could have went either way.
Exactly.
Like, they all came down to the end.
That's how evenly matched we were, and it just it couldn't have scripted it any better, I guess.
I don't want to discredit the the Cardinals and Pinecone's first series, those 2 games.
Oh, it was a great series too. Even though it was a 2-game series, it was
Yeah.
still.
It was both games
Both
were
of those
close.
games could have went the other way,
Yeah.
man. And contrary to some belief, there was no rigging involved.
Oh, absolutely not.
100% clean.
No, it was.
But
So I'm saying, obviously, Frank and I had a different perspective of this because we're playing the police that entire series. We are the police department of the Aroostook Men's Baseball League, and like, we're sitting back, and obviously we're trying to be neutral, and we are neutral, but like we obviously know that we're going to be playing the winner of this series.
I want
And
to take it a step farther and say I don't even know that I was neutral. Like, I think I was harder on the Pinecones that whole series than the Cardinals.
okay, so you're bending over backwards to be.
I had to be
Right,
because
you had to be, or else it's going to be viewed. And even if you were, it was still viewed as if you were biased.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, it didn't even
Yeah.
matter that I was. Like, it was
Yeah,
still looked at that way.
No,
Yeah.
but that series, it's just like we know we're gonna play the winner, but like I'm not saying who I was cheering for. I wasn't cheering for anybody, but like the biggest gripe I have is that the Cardinals thought that we wanted to face Saul Nunez in the championships. Like, if you think about that, no one wants to face Saul Nunez in the championship series.
I would have rather played the Cardinals.
Right.
100%.
And I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same. I knew we could beat either, but I knew we'd have way more tough a time with Saul Nunez on the bump
Yeah, I
for
agree.
2 of the 3 games.
The last couple of games we played against the Cardinals, we'd hit very well off them. The other time we faced Saul, we got 1 hit.
Right. And so
actually,
I mean, when a bang bang play, in my case, the only play I was in the jackpot for, Ian knows the reference. That my butt was in the jackpot for.
Yeah.
Was that play at third? Frank was in the jackpot the entire series because he was calling every single pitch. But like, when a play like that happens, obviously we're not thinking about who we want to win.
right.
Not at all.
You're
And
just
if we
thinking about making
are,
that call.
we're not thinking. We don't. Yeah, no. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. I won't get into it anymore, but it was a great series. That series.
Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah. Like, I would have loved to have been a spectator watching those games.
Oh, me too.
They were
I would've
great
loved it too.
games.
Especially game
Yeah.
1, I think, in my opinion.
Calling, on the other
You know-
hand, I would have rather been anywhere else in the world.
I would have loved. Or Frank. I would have loved for us to be like broadcasting that game. That would have been fun.
That would have been awesome.
On the
that
mic for
would
that
have been
game?
a lot of fun.
That would have been so much fun. Like calling Chance's game-winning home run and all the other stuff, big stuff that happened in
I
it.
do want to say the Cardinals broke out walk-up songs.
Oh
in the
yeah.
postseason, and dude, that was
was
actually some of
sick.
the most. That was, yeah, dude. I wish we had. And you were talking about it, like, I wish we had that. That was actually.
I know. You know,
We'll see.
I didn't realize how cool of a walk-up song "Rock and Roll Train" by AC/DC is until that series. Like it was playoff baseball, man. It was October.
It
Yeah.
was so
It was
hype.
awesome.
In between innings, I was loving it, dude. Just hearing
Oh,
them,
yeah.
like, music playing, dude. And but then game started, dude. I was like, get me out of here.
I'll be honest.
You know what?
That
Go ahead.
series almost felt more like the championship than the championship series.
Really?
Yeah. It
Because
just seems like there's more.
You were playing for your life in both.
Yeah, and it just seems like there was more like fire between each team, kind of, you know. More
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
You want to beat this team or whatever. Because like the championship didn't really feel as much like that since like
Well,
we all like friends and stuff.
Right. If
Kinda
one
felt
team,
like just-
if you didn't win, at least they won. You know,
Yeah,
there wouldn't be that same perspective.
but it was more like in that series, it's more like beating the other guys and getting to the championship, especially since because if you don't remember our first game against them, someone got tossed and on his way out said, "I'll see you in the playoffs."
Oh, really? I didn't remember. I didn't know he said that.
Yeah,
That's a direct quote.
yeah,
Huh.
and we sure
To be
did.
honest, I mean, like, yeah. Overall, their team had like a lot of like really good acting guys on it.
Yeah,
There's just a couple. They had a couple of fiery guys, but I mean, like, I personally didn't think they were too bad.
it's just I think it's just the competition, the competitiveness in them.
competition.
Because
We got to
especially
play
like
with a
playoffs.
couple of them.
talking to him
We
after
had
and stuff like that, everyone's like, there's not a
Yeah.
bad person there.
I was gonna say
It's
they were just out there. They wanted to win. They're a good ball team too. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, they
they're
were.
a competitive ball team.
And with the playoffs, it just amped everything up. And I mean, obviously that brings more chirping and jawing and stuff, which is a nightmare for us. But
hmm
just overall, it's just good competition that series.
Yeah, it was. It was a fun
The
series to
playoffs
play in.
and- Overall, the playoffs were pretty good.
They were.
I mean, the series that got to be played out full were awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to wrap up the week, so the championship week, and then what we just did on Sunday as well, we had the All-Star game where we brought out some of the league's best players.
Yeah, and
That was
It
a
can be-
blast.
before we
An
get
exhibition game.
too far into
go
that
ahead.
one, Frank, now I would like to break out my trivia question for you and Ricky. We'll ask Frank
okay.
his trivia question, or we'll ask Ricky his first, and then we'll ask Frank, but no answers can be answered until both questions are asked.
Okay.
Okay. Ricky, can you name the first player ever to record a save in the Aroostook Men's Baseball League All-Star Game? And Frank, can you name the first pitcher to ever record a hold in the Aroostook Men's Baseball All-Star Game?
Not that hard. Not hard at all, Ian. 'Cause it just happened yesterday, and it involves two of the people who make up the two-man cast of a sports podcast.
Frank, you want to
So-
go first, Frank?
So I have the sixth inning, the hold, correct?
Yep.
I believe it is your host, Ricky Goupel.
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
With the hold.
The 1-2-3 inning. Ground ball to short. Ground ball deflected off the umpire to third, and then a ground ball to short again.
Hey, highly
1-2-3
contested-
efficiency.
highly contested call with the one off the umpire.
Yeah.
Highly contested, even though it's a play on. So.
No, it's actually a base hit. There.
I believe the play should be
In the rules,
called.
it's a base hit because it's a dead ball because the umpire isn't behind any
I've s-
fielders.
But I've seen it happen with a second base umpire, and it's a play on.
That could have been behind like the third baseman though, or if like the first baseman's playing in, necessarily they're behind. The umpire has to be
But there's
behind
no
an infielder.
there's no rule for if the umpire's calling balls and strikes from behind the mound though. 'cause
Right,
that
but
never
they're-
happens.
But they're in front of
Yeah.
all the infielders, so necessarily it would
Yeah,
be
but
it
I
would
feel
be
like the rule
it should be played as a
rule-
walk, like the same
the
way a
rule
walk
could be
would play out.
different because in some scenarios the second baseman umpire's in the outfield, right? And sometimes he's in the infield.
Right?
So when he's in the infield, it's a base hit, but when he's in the outfield, it's play on.
Yeah, it would
For
be
this, the
if-
umpire's always behind the mound, so I don't know.
if the rule is if
I
a
don't know.
ball hits an umpire who's in
I
front of the
don't know.
infielders before it hits any fielder, it's a dead ball and batter gets first base, and then any runners who are forced
Okay,
get a
that's-
base.
I didn't want to
If
say
it-
anything
That's
after
the
the game.
rule. I mean, hey, if that's the rule, that's probably what should have been done.
Yeah.
But there needs to be a
I-
rule for if the umpire's umping behind the mound.
I'm just saying I was joking about it. I forget with who after the game, but I said I wasn't going to tell you about it at all. I knew we'd talk about it on the podcast. I was going to save it to bring it out here, get your live reaction.
So who was it that hit that ball? I forget who hit that ball.
I don't remember.
That was Rylan, I think.
Was it Rylan? Oh yeah, because Corey led off, and then I know Dakota was the last out.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Rylan. Yeah.
And then Ricky, do you want to answer yours?
The man that got the save.
Yep.
Ian Michaud, your host, Ian Michaud,
Yes, sir.
and
That's a
You
nasty
wanna-
6th and 7th.
it was
Inning.
it was a lot of junk in that inning, but it was a
I
good
got a
save.
trivia question for Ian.
Frank Nunez.
What was? Oh, you already know what's coming.
Alright.
All right. Good guess. You got it correct.
Let's go.
What's the
What's-
question?
What's the question?
Who was the last recorded out in the first AMBL All-Star game?
That would be
Oh, yeah.
Frank Nunez. Yep. And Frank, I was kind of hoping you'd take me deep there to tie the game up, but
Dude,
unfortunately, I got the best of
Let
you.
me be honest with you. I go up there and I'm like, okay, just a base hit, and I hear Corey in the dugout. Him and Cam are talking, and they're like, "Dude, it'd be so sick if you just flicked one out here, like if you just got into one."
Went straight
then
to
I
your
hear-
head.
I hear Zach Fletcher talking to them, and he goes, "No, he goes, he is a really good hitter, but he's like, he's just not a power hitter."
Oh no!
in my head right there, I go, all right, because my swing, like you guys, I mean, you've seen it all season. I've just been swinging for like line drives. I think I've hit 2 fly balls this whole season. Everything else has been on a line in the ground. I mean, so I just I hear that and I just go. I'm like, all right, here it is. I'm like uppercut. Here we go. Drop the back arm. Come up, shoulders planted down, swing. Just miss it. You know,
You just missed it. Okay.
Barely went out of the infield.
I definitely had to full sprint to that ball while battling the sun to catch it. So
Oh yeah, Ricky was the last out.
I had to
Recorded the
full
last out.
sprint- had to full sprint in towards the infield to
I
catch
think
that.
I think I actually hit it with my right hand. I think it was off my hand when I hit it out into the outfield.
Just missed it.
I mean, I was like, about 26 inches from the barrel, like right off my hand, top hand. I had enough force to push it out to the outfield still, so.
Well,
I was the most disappointing thing is in the All-Star game, I meant to grab my elbow guard, and I was gonna literally stick my arm out over the plate just to troll everybody.
Oh, that's funny.
I'll say definitely one thing about the All-Star game is there's no doubt it's the most fun I've had playing a baseball game in a while, like an actual baseball game in a long time.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed playing with. Yeah, I know Ian did too. Enjoyed playing with all the guys from the other teams.
Yeah, and then just going
Fun.
different positions, just trying to have fun
Yeah.
while still trying to win a
Get
game.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoy.
stuff.
It was awesome. You're playing with some of like the best guys in the league. I've never had an opportunity to play with. Sharing the dugout with them, sharing like a good day. It was a good game. Very like both teams obviously had really good players, top to bottom on them. It was a lot of fun, man. Like nothing to not enjoy.
Yeah.
Everybody was in a good mood. I mean, coming off of those like last games, like obviously like the championship, you have much more stress. Like out here, there's nothing on the line. It was just to come out and enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's got to
it was
be
awesome.
I think we got to do that game every year because it's just
Well, I look
Yeah.
forward to it.
way too fun. To
I'm
just
really
end
going to
it.
be more motivated to play well to make the All-Star squad.
Yeah, exactly.
To play in
exactly.
that.
And there's probably gonna
Ricky,
there could be less people from each
played-
team next year.
You were a no-doubter, Ricky, to be on the All-Star team. This
Yeah.
year.
Oh well, thank
The way
you.
you
But
played.
I mean, for next year, you never know. I might not be a no doubter. So
You gotta set goals, man. I set 2 goals. 2.5 goals this season.
2.5.
okay,
Goal number 1, double-digit hits.
check,
Yep, got it. Goal number 2, lead the league in hit by pitches.
check.
And then my half goal was to win the championship. But
Why was that?
because you can't set that. That's not a personal goal. That's a team goal. You can't
Correct.
control your team.
Check. So
Yeah.
2.5 succeeded.
2.5, 25 met, just like me. Number 25.
Yeah, true. I wish I'd have thought of it sooner. The idea just came to my mind. We could have prepared. Each of us could have prepared our top 5 moments of the season for the league.
Oh, we
Oh,
could
That would
have.
have been fun to do.
Yeah, we could have. I could. No, probably
I would
couldn't
think
come up
maybe
with.
on the spot, but
Probably couldn't come
You
up
know-
with 5 on the spot.
Yeah, that
You know
would be.
we could cut the tape.
No, that's gonna
Come
be
up
too
with
long.
5 in a minute.
That's
and we
gonna
could
take too
cut
long.
it.
Here,
2-part.
let's
Wait,
all come up with one right now. I'll go with Chance's walk-off home run would be one of them.
That's definitely up there.
Yeah.
The last inning of the 7th, we can just say Zach's home run and Zeus's hit are all in one. So that's obviously up
So-
there.
Are we doing just for like our teams or just like for
The
like
whole
my
league.
team or
The
just the
whole-
whole league?
The whole league,
The whole league.
I'd say.
I think-
Probably
I think-
probably
Go ahead.
I mean, the first time Seth, or the second time Seth took the mound and just blown heat by everyone, and we're like, what is this guy doing?
I don't know if that's top 5,
No,
but
that was just a good
that was
moment.
It was.
It was a good moment.
No, one thing I liked, this was against us the first time we played the Cardinals, was Mason Huck off Zach. I believe it was Zach Fletcher. When Mason was he hit like 4 foul balls in a row, just hunting for that 225, and he's a right-handed batter.
Yeah.
He was just flicking him out to right field. And dude, I don't know. If I was Zach, I would have just crammed him inside. Like he hit 4 fouls in a row out there. But Zach left one outer half of the plate, and he finally got 225. I thought that was personally, I was playing first. And I was like chasing down every single one of those foul balls. I was like laughing. like after the second one, the third and fourth, I was just like laughing because like it was so clear what he was trying to do.
I
But
That's so long ago now that I mean, I obviously I remember it, but it is a distant memory now.
yeah, I mean, honestly, like I think I watched every. I either umped or played.
Yeah, you were,
like every game, so
and you watched a select few you watched, but
yeah, I think there was like 3
you were at
or
every
4 I
game.
got to
So
watch.
obviously up there would be, I think it was Carter Quist that hit the walk off.
no, it's
Oh, Chris Bernier.
Bernie.
Oh, it's Chris Bernie. Okay, Carter Quist did have a home run in that game.
The
That's
ball
up
was
there.
just jumping off the bat of the Cardinals
That
game.
day.
Yeah, another good one was our comeback after Ben Goodwin allowed like 4 home runs in that one game.
Oh,
That
you mean
was,
against the Pine Cones? That one?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, when
okay.
they hit 4 home runs and we came back to win that one as well.
And then there was the game that we blew a 9-1 lead against Kearney's. That was a heck of a game.
And we came back in the 8th. That one was crazy. I came out. It was the first time I got hit twice in the elbow in the same game. And I checked out after the 4th.
You came out, yeah.
We needed 1 run in the bottom of the 5th.
To end it. And then all of a sudden
I was the 8th batter that inning. No, the 6th batter that inning. I was like, okay, I'm not even going to come up. It doesn't matter. And yeah, we ended up not like the way we'd been hitting that day. Like it felt like it was just a free 1 run. We didn't score.
Gave up 4 in the 5th. Gave up 4 in the 6th. All of a sudden, it's a tie game. Then Goodwin sets him down in the 7th. 1-2-3. After he said 1 base runner and then I'm out. He sets him down 1-2-3. Same leash in the 8th inning. 1-2-3. It was crazy. That was a crazy game.
That one was weird watching. When I told you, Ricky, right? I said I'm good to sit once a year.
Yeah, and that
and I was telling Zach, I literally couldn't swing. My elbow was like so puffed up because I got hit square in like the knob of it. And my second at bat, that was my first one. I went to swing and my right arm, my back arm, just shot out, and my left arm didn't move. I just like hit it was like the weakest like thing I've ever hit in my life. I like looked at Zach and I was like, yeah, dude, I was like, I literally can't swing a bat. It's like felt like a free game, so I was like, no one's gonna miss me. Like I believe I took myself out, and Ricky's like, is this the one time you're sitting this year?
Yeah.
I was like, yep.
And you wished it wasn't.
No, I know that was brutal to watch, man. I was like, I felt so bad. I was just like sitting there, and I was like, man, if I didn't come out, I was like, we're probably not in this situation right now.
The hallmark moment of that game for me, my memory is we had all thought we had lost the game. It's 9-9. We're hitting. We can't even score a run anymore. And Morrison looks up at me, and he's like, we're going to win this effing thing. And then literally the next inning, Morrison hits the game-winning hit. Or no, Seth hits the game-winning hit. I think Morrison scored the winning run, or Goodwin scored the winning run. But yeah, no, it was that was an interesting day for sure. Ian, you have a moment?
Yeah, I gotta say that it's kind of a moment, but I just gotta say, I mean, just the whole Kearney's team was got to be up there. They always just they're just such a great group of guys, always just looking to have fun. It seems like so. I don't think anyone can get mad at Kearney's for like anything.
That's true. And they're like, obviously, like when they started, you could tell like they had a couple guys who were like really good ball players, and then they had other guys who like you could tell they were ball players, just they haven't played in a while.
Yeah.
And it took them a while. It took them like the first half of the year to really get going, but the second half, they were a legit threat. Like
they were a good team.
They were playing ball at the end.
Yeah. It was good to see. Go from a team that you just can really like, and then just start seeing them play better as well. Just a team everyone can root for.
They lost a lot of close ones too. Worth mentioning. Like
they did.
So they could have been way better than 6-10.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Kearney's team. Kearney's. Sorry, I always call them Kearney's, but I think it's truly pronounced Kearney's.
I think so too.
Jesse Taggett is the only player in the league to play in
14
games this year. Yeah, standalone man.
Yeah.
Yep. His team was only involved. Team was only involved in 2 forfeits. Every other team was at least involved in 3. So
good for them.
So he actually had the same exact amount of regular season at bats that I did, and I thought I would have the most, but we each had 46.
Wow.
So
that.
Oh, another shout out to their team was Hayden Hunter, who had the most hits in the league with 17.
Yeah.
I believe
all
Base hits, all base
singles.
hits.
Yep, all base hits. Kid was
Almost
automatic. At the
almost
second
had
half of the
8
season.
Base hit machine.
Almost at 18, but I lifted one from him and turned that into a double play.
Wow, look at you, Frank.
I was playing about, what'd you say, about 65 feet away from home probably. He rips a liner to first, and turns into a double play. Bases loaded, got us out of the inning.
Wait, was that when I was pitching? I think it was.
No.
Yeah.
Was
Liner
it?
to you, and then you tag first.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, I was
Maybe-
pitching.
Maybe
It
you're
was the
right.
last game of the season. Regular season.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
He's a
that's
really good
that's
player.
when
He's a
Frank
really
gave up
good
a home
bat.
run.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was throwing all right. Alex Chapman, one of the most dangerous hitters in the league, came up there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I got 2 strikes on him, luckily. And Streeter calls for a deuce. And in my head, I had said, no, I'm just throwing fastballs, like, not over the plate, because I don't want to give him anything to hit. But at that point, I don't know what went in my mind, and I was like, I can sneak one by him right here. I was like, I'm going to sneak one by him. I release that ball. As it comes out of my hand, in my head, I just go, that was a bad idea. Bad idea. And then I watch that thing with absolute no sharp break. It's like a little floater that's just floating in. Starts about stomach high, falls to about belt high, and he absolutely just unloads on it.
There was a flat line too.
Yeah,
It was just like I started running after. I was like, wow, I have legitimately no chance to get anywhere near this ball.
Yeah.
Like it was just crazy how hard it was hit.
I just held my glove out behind me, and I was like, I'll take a new one.
Yeah.
Didn't even look. Didn't bother to look where that went. I knew it was a mistake out of the hand, and sure was. But that was fun. I wish I got to throw a little bit more this year, but we had a few good pitchers who were they were workhorses for us.
Longevity. Yep.
Right.
Any other moments you could think of, Ian?
I don't know. I mean,
I think we covered pretty much all the memorable ones.
I don't know if we said just like the whole All-Star game's got to be in there. I think. No, I can't remember. We might have said that.
The whole All-Star game was a good time.
That's a
That was a good day, great day for the
moment.
league.
It was. It was.
Perhaps the best day for the league.
Another
for
really
sure.
good moment too was the pitching duel between Sam Sear and Saul Nunez.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that was your last
remember that.
matchup with the Valley, correct?
Yeah.
Ian?
Yeah, I think so.
That was probably the best
That
game of
game-
the year, to be
That
honest.
game flew by.
Did it?
It just
It was
flew
like,
by.
yeah, it was like an hour and 10 minutes, 7 inning game.
I remember I got a hit
And-
that game.
Yeah, if you get a hit off Sam Sear, keep the ball. Like,
I placed it. I just placed the ball in the opposite field. Got on first. And then then I got on second, and then I think that's when things went downhill. I think it was that game. Might have been. I think, yeah, it was definitely that game. I think.
oh, well, you dove back and took one in the.
And I cut up my arm, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
still there.
squashed
Still there.
it squashed some things.
I'm telling you that Sincock Field infield is just brutal.
That's
Yeah.
the hardest.
It
That's
is.
the hardest field I've
I
ever
slid-
played on.
I slid yesterday, pop-up slide into second off a steal, and as soon as I hit the ground, I was like, I know, there's a chunk of skin gone. Boom.
Yep.
It was just crazy. And
I
now
mean-
I'm paying for it.
For my legs, I have like taped. I tape them up with like 2 different things of tape. I put compression socks on, and I put my long socks on, and every time I slide, even with all of that on, my legs still get tore up every time I slide.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't
Nothing.
put enough padding on, man. Like
No.
that is the rot. It doesn't matter if it rains or not either. Like the field drains really well, but the water has no effect on softening the ground. You could flood the thing, and the next
Oh,
day
yeah.
would be a
And
rock.
it's still gravel. Yeah.
You could probably lay down 5 inches of water on the field. It would all be gone the next day, and it would still just be a rock hard field.
It just needs, I think there's clay underneath there, but I think it just needs new conditioner, new top dressing,
Sure.
and it would be definitely much
Sure.
more fun to slide on, I guess.
I don't know. You don't want to get down. Getting
Not on that
down, you
field.
have to get down at some points, but you try to
Yeah.
avoid those times.
It's actually better to better to dive. I think, in my opinion.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I don't know. My
In
my,
the
el-
times that I dove, I didn't pay quite as much as when I slid feet first.
my elbows also got tore up the couple times I
Oh,
dove.
mine too, and my hip bone too, because I have very bony hips. But
You tore your hip
like
bone?
when I what?
You tore your
Yeah,
hip bone?
there's a big scab there.
You went all the way through the skin?
Yeah. Maybe I don't know.
no, he did not.
Oh.
There's he tore off some skin.
Oh.
He did not go down to his bone.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. No, I mean I'm bony, so I get scarred up there more than the average person. Anyway,
Oh yeah. Okay.
what I was gonna suggest we could talk about next is top 5 defensive plays. I don't know from that season.
Your diving
Alex
catch.
Okay, all right. Well, we can go to that.
Cam's
like
running
robbery
over the
almost.
shoulder, something like
into the fence.
diving or whatever it was.
Okay. Alex says he's deflection bare hand throw to first base.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Off of I think it was Brennan or Ryland's shoulder that he was behind, grabbed it bare hand, threw it over. You gotta say Saul. I gotta say Saul's in what was it, game 2 of you guys against the Cardinals when you went down a man, he was playing in between short and third.
Yeah.
With a diving catch.
Yeah.
Or was it a catch or did he get it and throw him out? I don't remember.
No, it was a line drive he caught.
Yeah, he caught it. That was a huge play. Pretty much, I think at that point was where you guys cemented your win, even with 8 players.
That was a great play because the significance of it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And then we need one more.
Billy made some absolute
just Billy's arm
guns from right field.
Billy's arm. That's what we'll put in the 5th spot.
Kirsten had 2 outfield assists in the same game as well.
Oh, how about
against the Cardinals? That was
Oh yeah, you did.
That was pretty good.
For the
dude, Seth, you got to talk about Seth. Who did he throw out going to second? He was catching and he cut an absolute missile to second base.
It was Caleb
the guy by about 15 feet.
I think it was Espling.
It was Caleb.
Because I believe Sean before he was like, "Hey, go at your own risk" or whatever, something like that. And then he takes off and it's not even close. He's like, "I told you, that's the last time you're doing that."
It wasn't even that bad of a jump. Like honestly, it was a pretty good jump, and he got thrown out by about literally 15 feet.
It'd make you look like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he could throw anyone out. Like
that was a serious problem behind the dish, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for the if we had to put one in for the 5th play, how about when Billy gunned out Terry L at first base and I got trucked and held onto the ball?
Yeah, I'd say that's up there.
You think that's gonna be a top 5?
Yeah. I forgot about that one, but that did happen. That was close
also,
for you.
Play for significance in the Cardinals series. I think Ian knows where I'm going. Little pop up to Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Makes the catch off. Miles barely got a piece of it, and then doubles up at first. Huge play, perfectly executed. Kyle didn't throw it too hard. He softly threw it to first base. Ian with the forethought to cover the bag there after he was way off the bag. That's a huge play too.
Yeah.
For significance.
That was when we had 8. Was that when we had 8?
That was when you had 8.
Oh yeah, so I was way off then because.
And those were the first 2 outs of the inning because they ended up scoring a run after a mistake.
Oh really?
There's like you had Carter Quist hung up in a rundown, and Saul I think made a bad throw or something.
So he scored. That is true.
Yeah.
I want to say me and you hooked up for.
Oh yeah, we did.
Like 3 or 4 throughout the season.
That's why you hit your cutoffs, kids.
Come to me when I was playing first. Come out to the pitcher's mound. And you would throw it on the absolute line. We typically didn't get I think we got the guy at home 1 time, but we got guys going from second to third 3 times.
Yeah. Pump fake. I mean, and on those plays, the only time I'm going to the cutoff, Frank, is if it's too deep anyway. If it's too deep for me to throw them out at home, I'm going to the cutoff. It's a little secret, I guess, because if I think I have a chance, I'm going to airmail it as far as I can. But if I don't think I have a chance, I'm going to you so you can get that runner at second.
Yeah, I mean,
we did. We got 2 outs out of it.
I have faith in your arm. I think that you you have a very good arm, but to be there, make those plays because typically, I feel like where you're standing, if you can get it to home, that's the fastest throw. But if you're coming to me, I pretty much wasn't even looking at home. I was just because my back's to home. I'm looking at you. I'm assuming the runner's probably there. I'm just watching the guy on second, seeing if he's trying to go up.
A couple times you turn and pump fake it to sell it, which
Yep.
really gets the runner.
Yeah, because then he commits, and then I have an easy step throw because he's not close to third yet. You get him.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well for us. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, you gotta love good defense. I love defense.
Yeah, defense is fun.
It's important.
It is.
It's a huge phase of the game.
Yeah.
I think me and Ian, I don't want to talk about it myself that much, but I mean I have been, but me and Ian had pretty much a very similar play in back-to-back games, I believe, where we're both playing first, and they hit them, and they're going out over the fence, out of play.
Oh yeah.
First time I'm tracking it, I had a good idea where the fence was, so then I jump up, and I go into the fence, get my arm like hooked up and reaching over, catch it, and then the next game, a very similar thing happens. Ian's tracking it, goes over, it's just reaching out of the fence, and Ian, being a little taller, was able to just reach over the fence and make the catch, but it was virtually the same spot.
Yeah.
I already.
Those are satisfying, I bet.
I know I told Frank what happened. I don't know if Ricky was there. I don't know if you know the whole thing about that play, Ricky, when I reached over the fence. I don't know if you heard the whole story.
It was game 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it was Nate's ball.
Yeah. Did I tell you what happened leading
No.
up, like in the seconds leading up to the
spectator.
catch? So not gonna name names. I'm making my way. I know it's coming close to the fence, so I check the fence early, right? So I can have time to pick the ball back up, and just to make sure I'm not gonna run into the fence and then, or just like look last minute and then lose the ball and not have time to adjust if I have to. And so I get there and I get right to the fence, and then a fan goes, you hear a fan go, that's out or something, and then I go, no it's not, and then reach over and catch it.
That's awesome. I don't know who the fan is. You'll have to tell me later, but that's funny.
Yeah, Ian was telling me about that right after, and I thought that was actually so funny.
That is. That is.
That was pretty great.
Overall, I mean, I know we're missing a bunch. Like, there was a lot of good play throughout the whole season. By every team had a lot of good plays. I mean, we could sit here and talk for hours about.
We could.
I mean, yeah. I think I want to say like overall like how happy I was with the league. It ran like, well, maybe it didn't run the greatest, but it went, and the people who played were awesome. I mean, like,
we gotta take the good, Frank. Just we're only talking about the good tonight, all right?
okay.
That didn't happen.
Well, we completed a very successful season with a lot of fun, and I know a lot of people, like, whether it be people who came to watch games, family members of people playing, and the players themselves, just how much it was enjoyable for everybody involved.
Yeah.
To have baseball up here in the county.
Mm-hmm.
Was awesome.
Yep.
I mean, they said it wasn't possible, and it's easy to think sometimes that it isn't possible.
Yeah.
But we pulled it off, and yeah.
And hopefully it'll only grow from now on. Next seasons that come along.
I mean, I've got plans. I know I've shared some with you guys, but keeping them written down. I'm gonna take a few weeks off here. Not really think about it
well
at
deserved.
all. Enjoy. Thank you. Enjoy some mental rest, but and yeah, get at it late September.
Yeah.
And plan throughout the winter leading up. I mean, I think it's too good of an opportunity not to capitalize on, trying to expand and build it while there's interest, while it's
That's true.
While it's still hot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I don't want to sound selfish or everything, but like it wasn't just me. It was a lot of people involved. It took a lot of people to do and to run and maintain, and I'm thankful for all the help. It was quite the experience. I've never been the head or running person of something this size. And honestly, it was a decent sized thing. It was pretty formidable to just get after, but it's a great support network, and really thankful for how it paid out.
Yeah,
I think now's a good time, Ian, for me to give my emotional speech here, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's
What'd
time.
you say?
Get the tissues ready, and Ricky, go ahead. Let's see what you got. Are you gonna make us
I
cry?
mean, probably not, but
Okay.
we usually on this podcast we thrive on humor and lighthearted stuff. But from my perspective, as a huge fan of the game of baseball, it's always been there for me every summer of my life, every spring and summer of my life. When I got to high school, it kind of definitely took a turn for the worse. I expected 1 year on JV, maybe 2. As you know, I ended up with 3 years on JV, which was very disappointing. And then, of course, my senior year, didn't even get a year at all, which was definitely the worst thing that COVID took from me. I couldn't care less about the graduation or prom or anything like that compared to that senior season. And then last year we played pickup together and stuff, and a few full speed games, which was fun and good to have, which was better than nothing. But then this year, it just out of nowhere. I know, Frank, it wasn't out of nowhere for you, but out of nowhere, this possibility came up, and it just totally blew what any senior season or any varsity season out of the water this season of baseball for me. Because I know varsity of Presque Isle has a history of not being very good. Probably would have gone, maybe lost the prelim, and that would have been that. And I thought that was the worst thing to even lose that. But this year, best season of baseball I've ever had, and that's because of you, Frank. You started it all, and I know you say there was a lot of help. Ian and I mean, we know we were there to help a lot, and a lot went into it. But Frank, that was because of you, because you started it all. You were the catalyst, and I can't thank you enough for giving that to me, and it totally made up for that void senior season that we had. And I thank you. So there you go.
I'm going to respond with, you're welcome.
That's all you got to say? Okay.
I'm not emotional. I try not to be that emotional. I was highly contemplating on just taking my headphones off and not listening to what you said tonight, and listening to it as this airs. But I'll definitely talk to you in person about that, because that was a lot of very kind things you just said to me, and then I'll talk to you in person about it sometime. I'm just gonna go back to it was a good team effort, a lot of people involved, and it went well.
Well,
Frank, that response.
Hey, that's okay. I don't
what you
care.
said, Ricky,
It's
was
fine.
beautiful.
Thanks. It was right from the heart. It was straight from the heart, and I mean it.
I don't know that. I believe you, and like I said, the things you just said felt a lot more than what I am projecting currently. But
okay. Yeah, I know. I get you. I'm with you, Frank. I'm not an emotional guy either. I definitely feel more than I show too. So I'm with you there. And I might add that this season, I'm speaking. I know Zach feels the same way. That it reignited our love for the game for sure. I mean, we put up with a lot of extracurricular stuff in high school, I guess. With this, concerning the sport of baseball, a lot of baggage that came along with it. But this was just sheer nitty gritty down to the nitty gritty of just baseball. That's all it was.
I could speak a little bit on that, to be honest. Because what you said there, so obviously all of us have played for Presque Isle at some point, baseball, right? And it's all before I got there, and it's going to continue even after we're all through at this point, but it's still continuing. There's like a really big thing where it's like a 9-guy mentality. Like, they pick their 9, and it's not, I don't care who you say, like, it's not based on talent. It's based on who you are, like, in the community. When I played,
Can I stop you right here for a second? And this is what it has been for years. This is not anything current. This is just years, right?
I believe
Historically.
it's been that way since I can remember, and I think even further back than yeah. I've heard stories of older guys who have said.
I honestly think it's a culture thing.
Yeah, so I know
MPI.
like I live in Mapleton personally, so I know that some people like we funnel into Presque Isle for middle school, high school. We have our own elementary system, best school in the district. I have to say that, but so, I mean, I come out from Mapleton. My family, absolutely like no name in the community. Saul Nunez is like an anomaly. I mean, the guy's one of the best baseball players I've ever had the opportunity to play with, and that's like not even if he was my brother. I mean, like you guys got to see him. This isn't even him in his prime. He was playing with like a hurt ankle all year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys know like the caliber of like ball player this guy really could have been.
Right.
And so he got to play, right? I remember my sophomore year in tryouts when the coach told me I wasn't going to make varsity, and the reason I wasn't going to make varsity was because I wasn't Saul Nunez. I just wasn't the same player.
Right.
And that wasn't. The thing was, I know for a fact I was a better player than other guys on that team. We'd play in the summer leagues. My numbers in every category would be better, but I had no name. I was like a nobody. It didn't matter. And yeah, I was literally told that I just wasn't Saul Nunez, so I wasn't going to make varsity this year. And I was like, that's probably one of my hardest like things, like for because baseball's meant so much to me in my life. Like, I don't really want to get into my like personal life that much, but I mean, like, it's been a big part of my life. I stuck through that. I did make it my junior year. No play, like virtually no playing time. Got on the field here and there. Did my thing. Played fine. Senior year, I played, but I upset my coach like the last couple of weeks. I missed out on a couple of our biggest like opportunities to actually play. So that was like a really bummer. Got to college. I was playing on a D3 team. The coach like absolutely hated me as a person. Mostly because, in my view, he was not a great person, and I would call him on that because I didn't think it was right for him to be that way with a team.
Mm-hmm.
And he got mad at me for calling him on that, which I guess I can understand. I was like a freshman who was like decent at baseball, but not like a superstar by any means. And so that led to a lot of animosity the first 2 years. I told myself I was walking away from the sport. I was done. Like, I loved it, but I wasn't gonna play for him for a third year. I didn't play my junior year. And my roommate, who was a Canadian, was telling me about a men's league over in Canada, which I had like no idea that was a thing, which was like an hour away. So I went over there, played again that summer, dude. It was like kind of what this league was, what you just described for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that literally just brought the whole love of baseball. Like, it was just playing, like, stress-free. It didn't matter who was who. I had no idea. I was out in another country, dude. I didn't know, like, any of the people. I knew, like, 2 guys on the team. And it was just baseball, just playing in great weather, just having fun. And I love that. And college, we got a new coach for my senior year, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I was like, it's a new guy. Much better for me personally than the previous coach. I enjoyed it again. I played the next 3 years over in Canada up until maybe 2 years. It's 2 or 3 until the virus shut down the borders. And last summer I didn't get to play. Like you said, we did a couple of full speed games, but it wasn't enough to fulfill my baseball. Like, I wanted to still play because I still just love the game, like everything about it, the guys, the feel of being out there, just playing, and I like the fact that I could ever do that and like repay what the game, like the summer league, had brought to me personally to like anybody else, giving them the opportunity to play is like that, and that's literally why I did it, man. Like, I had to do it because I wanted to play, and I knew there were other people out there who would, like you said, just re-fall in love with the game, like how much that means.
It really just stripped everything away from, the small town politics that people deal with playing for for high school and college stuff. All the ugly parts of the game, I guess, were stripped away, and it was down to just baseball, and that's all this was. No coaches, no parents. I mean, obviously parents were there, but you know what I mean. It's just that's all it was. Is the bread and butter, and I think that was the beauty of it all this season.
Yeah,
that's what reignited my love for the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, just the fact that it could do that for anybody, because I mean, that's literally what happened to me the first time I played in a men's league, and I just, and it's been that way. Like it's been carrying my summers, honestly. Like I love playing, and just the joy that I get. Like I feel like I'm a kid again every time I go there to play. Like
yeah, exactly.
My body reminds me I'm not after we play, but during the game, like it's just all the joy I had when I was first learning to play. I was first playing, and it's just so beautiful, man. Like you lose that as you get older, and you like things just get like more jaded. Like you said, like the politics that all go into it and stuff. And I mean, it's just like,
yeah,
it feels so bad.
See, yeah, building off what you said, like sometimes during the winter when I'm bored, I look at old pictures of from when I played in Little League. When Ian and I played at Little Fenway, those are some of the best pictures to go through. You'd think, I mean, I definitely thought that my funnest days of playing baseball were behind me. I tell kids all the time at the rec that, hey, you have the most fun at baseball when you're 12 and 13. And that was true for me. I thought it was going to remain true. But again, this was second life. It really was.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that I could do that I hope it hit it for other people too. I mean, that's literally why I felt like I needed to do it. Because that just like it's such a good thing. And I mean, I could say that about like probably any sports, but baseball's the one that has an effect on my life. I mean, that's why it was baseball for me, for you. I mean, and just to be able to do that for somebody that like means so much.
Yeah, and even if the league were to fold, and there'd be absolutely no interest next year, and we wouldn't have a league ever again, for a Aroostook league ever again, it would still be worth it. I think, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, all the hours that have went into it would absolutely be worth it just for this one season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, though.
Sure.
Hopefully it continues. I do want to say hopefully it does continue.
No, and it will.
Hopefully,
it will.
And hopefully it just grows the game of baseball here. Because, basketball's huge. Soccer's pretty big, but baseball, not as much. So hopefully kids seeing whatever it is, like brothers, dads, friends or something, or cousins, whatever it is.
I've heard stories that baseball used to be big up here. But
oh, really? Haven't seen that yet.
That's what I've talked to a few older guys, and they said it used to be a really big thing. But
talking back in the 40s, yeah.
But I'll say, like one thing that I know you talked about. I think Ricky, you asked about top 5 moments of the season, right? Earlier,
Mm-hmm.
I think definitely one has got to be, and which kind of what the league should kind of. It's got to be top 1 in my opinion of the league. I kind of forgot about a top 1 moment of the league, and what the league should really be is it was the playoff game against your guys' playoff game against Carney's, and Brian Morrison got a double, and you hear his son from next to the dugout like, "Good job, Daddy," and just excited for his dad, seeing to get his dad play, which usually you're not able to do because
the other way around.
Right, but for his young son to see that, and then that's probably gonna make him want to play baseball when he's older. And that'll probably, I think that's just, it's got to be one of the best moments.
Yeah,
I agree. That's literally what this is about. Is like, obviously for the ones playing to get the opportunity, but the next generation, for the younger guys who can look up to see their dad, brother, uncle, guardian, somebody who means something to them out here playing a sport and enjoying it and having a good time and wanting to continue that.
Yeah.
That is what it's for, man. That's always what it's been for. But
man, what a segment, huh?
Yeah.
An ode to the to AMBL. That should be the title of the episode, Ian.
The ode to AMBL.
A love letter to AMBL.
I was kind of thinking about like for the love of the game or something, something like that.
That could work too, honestly.
Something
Yeah.
like
It's just,
that.
we could sit here all day. I mean, we're only one day removed from the season.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's yeah, I don't know. Because I wanted to say, like, at the All-Star game, immediately following the championship into the All-Star game, like, the amount of guys who have asked the questions of what are we doing next year, or what are team rosters looking like next year,
Mhm.
the number is way higher than it should be. Literally being done.
Yes.
that's a
being
good
done for-
problem. It's a
Yeah.
good problem to have.
Yeah, it's been good. Like I gotta thank the community as a whole as well. To be honest, like when I first set out doing this, like I was expecting 2 teams for sure, possibly a 3rd team. Right? I was like, okay, like, and that would be worth it to have 3 teams be able to play.
Mhm.
That'd be sweet. I was thinking, publicly, obviously, hopefully, some wives, some girlfriends, some parents would come out and watch. But what happened? It turned into a first-year 5-team league with like 75 people playing, and it wasn't irregular to get 30 to 40 people to come out and watch the games, which was like, it was insane to me. Like, that was beat all expectations by a ton.
Yep.
It's great.
It's unprecedented. It's honestly unprecedented to start up something like that. I mean, I don't think there's many adult leagues in this community like that. I mean, you got co-ed softball in the summer. I think there's men's league hockey. There's flag football, but none of them draw the community like this did.
Oh, and I mean, that speaks to the community too, to come out and be part of it.
Yeah.
That was huge. I mean, that's a driving factor that people clearly showed there's interest here. They enjoy it and support it, which was
Absolutely.
that was massive.
It's what we do it for. It's what you did it for, Frank.
It was a team, collective unit. We worked hard. But yeah, I don't know. I know I said I wasn't going to think about it much, but Ian, Ricky, what are you guys' biggest thoughts in going into next year?
Biggest thoughts going into next year?
Yeah, well, what?
I don't know.
Like,
I think I need to let my brain rest for a couple weeks like you before I start
Yeah,
thinking about
I would
that.
say the same, I guess. I'd say the same.
all right, I got one thing to talk about in the future.
Okay,
Okay.
what's that?
I'm just wondering what team I'm going to be playing for next year.
Oh, you're a free agent. He's officially a free agent, folks.
Frank
He's-
Nunez is a free agent.
Frank, you need to sign an agent. You need to get a PR team, call a press conference, all that stuff.
Yo, I'm all in one.
Say,
I'm all in one for myself.
All right,
It's a
any
one-man
team,
show.
he's a
any teams
one-man
out there looking for a guy to get on base?
for a
Frank
scrappy
Nunez
hitter.
is a free agent.
You know, a textbook 2-3 hitter. Textbook 2 hitter, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking to get into a little bit better shape. Maybe get the speed of a true 2-hitter as well.
Oh wow, look at that.
I got one
You'd be
goal for the
unstoppable.
off season. Got one goal for the off season, and it's to lose some weight.
There you go.
I
That's a
think
good goal
it's
to have.
achievable.
Hey, maybe you'll start coming for Saul Nunez if you get some speed on you.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well,
In all seriousness, it was a great team I played for this year. A lot of fun, and yeah, I'm gonna enjoy these next few weeks off, and then yeah, it's gonna be right back to business for me.
Back to it.
yeah.
Back to it.
Do we have anything else for the baseball league?
I'd say we leave it at this. I think that was a very good. I think we did it as close to justice as we can.
Yeah, I think that's a good ending.
Yeah, we started talking about like emotional stuff that really sapped me.
Yeah.
A little uncharacteristic of the podcast, but I think it had to be done.
Yeah, I mean,
Good stuff.
I think we're all fighting back tears right now. If we're gonna be honest.
No, I am.
Ricky,
I don't think I can cry.
Ricky, you can't fight him back anymore. We've already seen him. We've already seen him pouring down.
I was telling Chancellor this, my tear ducts are actually sealed off
Right.
the
Yeah.
insides of my eyes, so I actually can't cry. But
That's a fun fact about Frank Nunez.
It's been
Frank-
a long time since I cried as well.
You got any more fun facts about you, Frank?
I have a bunch, but I'm hoping to be back on for season 3. So
Hey, give us your
better save some for then.
give us your top 1 fun fact about you.
Top one. He's gonna save it. He's gonna save it for season 3.
Alright,
Give us a sneak
I got
peek.
one.
Sneak
I got
peek.
one I can do. This is like a first day class thing for like college. They're like tell you something fun. I can solve a Rubik's cube. My best time was 22 seconds.
Congratulations.
I like
Fun
that.
fact.
I'm just gonna lie to people this year when the semester starts in 1 week in all my classes and
What are
say
you gonna
that.
say? Oh, is that actually what you're gonna
No, but
say?
so are we doing trivia, Ian?
I already did my trivia question.
That was your trivia.
Yeah.
I do have a question prepared. I don't know. Should I ask?
Yeah, go ahead and ask it.
Yeah. I got one too.
Okay.
Who's
I'm
this
gonna
question
ask-
for, me or Frank?
I guess it's for both of you.
Okay.
I'll go both of you.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you, what is the longest dead center distance in the history of baseball?
480 feet.
And what ballpark?
Polo.
Okay, that's a good guess because that is correct for Polo Ground. It's 483 feet. However, there is a ballpark that was much longer.
Really?
Yep.
Like 570?
Longer.
634.
635.
Oh!
I wanted to say 600. That was gonna be my guess. I'm trying to think
Okay.
where.
The Huntington Avenue Baseball Grounds,
Wow.
aka the Red Sox's home before Fenway Park. 635 feet to dead center.
That's a long...
It was so deep you can see photographs of people in the stands lining up in the middle of the outfield and making a horseshoe in front of the fence, like a solid 100, 200 feet in front of the fence in dead
My
center.
only question is, did anybody hit one out dead center?
Absolutely not. In the
Can you
ball era,
imagine?
no. They say Mickey Mantle hit a home run 565 feet, which is just out of this world. But that still didn't come within 70 feet of what the Huntington Avenue Baseball Grounds dead center
Literally,
distance.
That's insane. There's absolutely no. Think of all the seating they could have had in there.
And down the lines, get this, down the lines it was like 270 feet.
Wow, that's just...
That's
We're
a fun
talking
ballpark. That'll
straight-
play. That'll play.
It will.
That's all I'm gonna say. That'll play.
That will.
Oh, I can't imagine being a corner outfielder in that park.
Oh, yeah.
Having to deal with that fence, it just goes straight out.
No, that's... You just play in... I don't know where you'd play, yeah.
I mean, kind of like
In the
Singapore
gaps,
way.
maybe. Just play in the gaps.
Yeah, definitely in the gaps. All right, Frank, what's your question?
What team had the absolute worst trade deadline of the 2021 season?
Boston Red Sox.
Oh, that's not
Maybe the Nationals.
not correct either.
I'm sticking with the Boston Red Sox.
There's only one correct answer here.
The Chicago White Sox.
No, they had a phenomenal. They picked up some good guys, man.
Oh, the Dodgers didn't have a great trade deadline.
Yeah.
They got that scrub Max Scherzer.
I literally. It's all right. I'm just
Okay.
gonna watch it.
Frank,
I'm
The
sticking with the
Cubbies.
Red Sox.
the Cubbies, Frank. Your Cubbies had the worst trade deadline.
Actually,
I'm
no.
still trying to figure out who's on my team, to be honest.
Yeah, it's... Well, just go look at last year's AAA roster, and there you go. Or the AAA roster from before the trade deadline, and then there you go.
Steve Bartman.
It is rough, man.
Steve Bartman, Frank. I think he's on your team.
He might be. You could just
Actually-
throw out two random names in consecutive order, and I would believe you.
Oh,
be
Steve
anybody.
Bartman? You don't know who Steve Bartman is?
Yeah, no, I do know. Who
Oh,
Steve
okay.
Bartman is. Yeah, I was trolling, man. Like, I know that, but I mean, like, literally, you could tell me anybody's on that team, and I'll believe you. Nobody knows. I watch the Cubs almost every day, and I'm like, it's just random guys out there, man.
Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor,
Patrick Wisdom.
Sammy Sosa, Moises
wish.
Alou, Alex
I wish.
Gonzalez.
All right, enough with that team, man. Enough with that team.
Sorry.
Put it away, Ricky. All right. Oh,
Hey, well,
oh, man.
hey Frank, I
Wait,
will say this though.
Let me get one last thing here about the AMBL.
Yeah.
You know, Ricky had no idea what Mardi Gras beads were.
Okay.
Ricky. That's not. I don't think that's.
I know what they are. I just had never heard them referred to as that. I just heard them referred to as beats.
I'm sorry. I just I have a couple sitting on my desk here, and I was just looking at those, and I was like, wait a second. That had to be said.
Fine, all right. If you want to make me sound stupid, it's okay. I'm
Me and Ricky were out there playing catch. I'm like, dude, I might wear Mardi Gras beads for the playoffs. And Ricky's like, what? I'm like, Mardi Gras bead, like the bead
Come on,
necklaces.
Come on.
Was that where the idea of the chain my chain came in?
Oh yeah, that was after you had a home run.
Oh right, but that was the same day.
Was it that game?
It was the same. It was a doubleheader. It was a Carney's game.
Okay, yes, it was the second game.
I was warming you up to pitch. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah, because I was like, you need a chain now because you had a home run.
What I said is that I thought of your story of trying to pop your chain out, and you're like, oh, I can get you one. Yeah, that's how it went. I think.
Yeah, you need one. That is right. You were saying that was.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you do need one now. I've had one ever since, dude. The home runs are right there.
I wouldn't have worn one.
Home runs are right there.
Alrighty.
All right, sorry.
What do you have to say?
I was gonna say to Frank, at least the Cubs kept the heart and soul, the guy that's always been there for him, Anthony Rizzo. Luckily, they did not let him leave.
And I'm about to leave this call. I'm about to walk out of this call.
Why? I thought we were having a good time, man. Well,
Tough.
he actually
left.
He left.
You know what else is also a good thing? They didn't leave. Let Javier Baez leave either. So really, all in all, they didn't have that bad of a trade deadline.
Right. They still have Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez.
I mean,
Jake Arrieta,
Chris Bryant, John Lester.
Yeah.
We can go way back. David Ross.
Yeah.
Dexter Fowler. I mean, they still have the same crew they had when they won in 2016.
Exactly. Aroldis Chapman.
Right.
Is this over? Did you guys wrap up?
Yeah. Oh, you're back. Okay.
Well, now that Frank's back, I guess it's.
You'll have to hear that when.
I guess it's time.
Airs.
Yeah, I guess it's time. Frank, I don't know if you forgot, man, but the fantasy football drafts in less than a week.
Oh wait, I did forget, to be honest. What day is that?
Sunday night.
Sunday.
Right?
Sunday night at. Well, this time might not be set. We might change it to a little bit earlier, as long as everyone.
It doesn't matter because I'm officially done working on Friday. So let's get after it. Doesn't matter when.
Hey, did you listen to the full episode last week, Frank?
With Will?
Maybe it was the week before. One of the last 2 weeks.
The one about the trophy?
Yeah, looks like you did.
Yeah, I did.
Something to play for.
I see it.
Also, we're supposed to have a punishment, but we haven't thought of a punishment yet.
No, we can.
Honestly,
I think we talked about that on the Zoom.
I thought that was going to be the reveal, to be honest.
No.
Not the trophy. I thought you were going to reveal the punishment.
We can. So yeah, we're thinking about having a Zoom, so that we can all draft, kind of in together. Kind of have a good time on Zoom, and so maybe we can start the Zoom
up.
We're gonna.
Are we not meeting up then?
No, I don't think so. Unless we could talk about it. I don't know. We'll see how the cookie crumbles.
I thought that was the plan.
But Zoom, we'll at least have a Zoom if we're not meeting up. But yeah, we'll start the Zoom maybe 30 minutes before the draft and talk about a punishment, and we can all decide together as a league what the punishment will be.
Okay.
I like that. It needs to be something. Needs to be something intense.
Yeah. I know a really popular one is you have to stay in Waffle House for 24 hours, but we don't have anything that's open 24 hours. So
the gas station, the Shell.
I saw on a TikTok I saw on a TikTok where the person was asking for a punishment for the last place in the fantasy league, and the top comment was, I don't know if I'm gonna say it. Top comment was, go to a WNBA game without your phone and watch the whole game.
I saw that as well.
I take Waffle House for 24 hours. No. I'm kidding. WNBA, come on, guys.
Jeez, Ricky.
Just kidding.
Jeez.
Holy.
Professional sports league, man.
Jeez.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah.
skills.
Relishing the opportunity to watch world-class athletes.
Right. Anyway.
Well, that punishment will come.
I like that idea. I like that idea, actually.
Which one? Punishment?
I mean, the worst part of that punishment is that you have to buy a plane ticket because we live.
No,
so
no.
far away.
I meant us planning one out like 30 minutes before.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Group.
Yeah.
It puts pressure on the draft too, because then you start thinking about the punishment because it's fresh in your mind.
Right. Good point.
You guys been working on your draft board at all, or no?
Who works on draft boards? You do, Frank?
Gabe.
Gabe?
Yeah.
Has Gabe been working on his?
I don't know, but he always takes 1 minute and 59 seconds every pick.
No, mine's quicker than that. I list out every position. Like for baseball, it's like I pretty much just play fantasy baseball. But I mean, I get my top 5 at every position, and then I highlight the ones I want to take earlier than later, work down. Probably do the same with football, I assume.
I have.
I've been thinking about my first and second rounders. I'll say that.
Oh yeah. Do you remember what pick you have, Frank?
You said 6, maybe.
I'm 6.
You might be 8
Eight?
or 7.
8?
8.
Maybe
You're
8.
8. I think you're 8. Yeah.
How many people is it? 12.
10.
10.
10. Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm 8 though. I think I'm
Ian
8.
is 2.
3.
Oh, 3. I thought you were 2.
It's Melanson, William, and then
Oh,
me.
right. As well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Williams too. So we'll see how it goes. Will's told me who he's
Should be
thinking
good.
about picking, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Can't
Should
wait.
be good.
Fantasy football. It's always a fun time. But especially that I like it more than fantasy baseball because it's like you just set your lineup like Thursday night and then check it again Sunday morning to make sure no one's injured. You don't have to worry about it like every day, you know?
I kind of like the everyday. I mean,
Really?
I don't like excess. Yeah, it's just kind of fun. Gives you something to do for the first I just well, for me personally, I like to lay in bed for a little bit after I wake up.
Yeah.
I'm really ready to get up, so I just pull out my phone, check my lineup.
You know, speaking of that, it's actually I've heard it's not good for you to just wake up and go right to your phone. You should wait like an hour or something.
Well, I'm screwed.
I wake
Me
up,
too.
and then I go back to bed for an hour, and then I wake up the second time and grab my phone.
I think you're in the clear, Frank.
All right, sounds good.
Jeez.
So does that conclude it?
Does it? It's
Any
getting late.
other items on the agenda? Yeah, it is.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I just want to say thank you guys for having me again. I really appreciate coming on here.
Yeah. Thanks for
It's always
coming.
a fun
Frank.
time. Anytime,
Thank you.
man.
It was a blast, Frank, and obviously you're invited back again to defend your title at the Trivia Classic at the end of this season.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
I've been studying my golf, man. I've been studying golf. I'm ready to win again.
Honestly, if you look at the guests that have been on so far, I'm not sure you have much competition yet. But
Wow.
we'll see.
That's a shot at
We'll see.
whoever's been on so far. I can't remember,
appreciate
honestly,
that.
so I'm sorry. That's another shot.
I've watched every episode this season, and I'm also feeling pretty confident at this point.
Well,
Good. A loyal listener. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of a sports podcast. We definitely went in a direction. We went in an aisle that we don't usually go in, I guess we could say that, when talking about the Aroostook Men's Baseball League, which just concluded on Sunday. But a lot more content. Doesn't mean we're winding down yet. A lot more content to come. Fantasy football coming up soon. Football season starting up. So stay right close to a sports podcast. Thank you guys for listening.